invite Mr. Susir Kumar to come on stage.
Just before I start, I just wanted to give a little bit of a background of how this whole thing started off for Suchit. And before COVID was a time when the business that he was involved with was not doing very well. He wanted to change. One of the options for him was to seek a job, and that would have possibly meant being in the same marketplace as what most of you guys are involved in, possibly competing with you. That's something that he didn't want to do. He wanted to do something which will foster the business of the community. That's what he's been doing. He said, I want to do something which is aligned to what I know, which is the IT computer trade. He wanted to do something which is working with you guys. And he wanted to do something which is going to foster the growth of the community here in a manner which is also commercial and makes financial sense for him. That's what he wanted to do. And that's where the idea of this whole opportunity came. Very simply put, this is basically an e-commerce, B2B e-commerce platform, which is going to onboard anyone who wants to join this, and it is going to facilitate a trade in a marketplace much bigger than what is being currently operated. It will have many more buyers, it will have many more sellers, it will be much more transparent, it will force the right price discovery, and it will enable growth in the business. Does the community need this? I don't think there is a choice, because you will have to go digital, and I think that's definitely going to happen. I'm not a real expert on IT hardware trading business. That's not my expertise. My expertise, as mentioned by Suchit, has more been around the IT software services side or IT enabled business services side. That's where I've been really working on. And I have actually been extremely surprised, because I've been in this industry now for almost about 25 years, but I've been extremely surprised at the pace at which digitization has taken place. Thanks to COVID, it has just gone through the roof in the last 2.5 years. And I'm going to share some of the statistics in terms of how this has played out in the B2C world. Not now, I'll tell you. I'll talk to you about on the B2C world how this has played out. But also I think what I've seen is one of the companies which Suchit spoke about was TaskUs. So TaskUs is a business services company which only provides services to digital-enabled businesses. So it could be a Deliveroo or a DoorDash, which are all the food delivery companies, or any company, Facebook, Google, etc. And every time over the last 4 years, we have been beating our numbers. And just last year, it's a listed company, a NASDAQ-listed company on a very large base. The company grew almost by 60%. This year, it's got a huge projection. It has made a statement to the market in terms of what the growth could be. And then, of course, we were very worried about the war situation. We were worried about the COVID situation in China. And I don't think they're slowing down in any form and shape. The tech meltdown and all that stuff that's going on, but the business is really, really rampant. And I think they're going to see a similar side of growth. There are some bit of facts which I thought I'll just pull out for the benefit of you guys. And I think it's quite interesting, because if you see the way digital is growing, and in fact, as I was coming here, I was just reading about the digital trends in India. The way in which internet penetration is going on in India, the rural India is 20% more than the urban India. 20% more, that's the pace at which it is going. The digital payment, India is number one. If you go to Bangalore, even auto rickshaw, you go to a vegetable vendor, everything is paid digitally. The pace at which people are adopting digital as a means to live, as a means to interact, is going up drastically. If you look at the B2C world, and this is a B2B platform, but if you look at the B2C world, what we have seen is the strategic priorities for adopting digital is driving top line. And I think one of the reasons they're doing it is because not only just the customer behavior of wanting to buy online, but people are knowing that they can actually increase their sales by going digital. The second is customer experience, because you can provide a fairly stable customer experience through a digital platform as compared to a brick and mortar platform, which is all individual based. Building new digital products, adding new digital capabilities, a lot of channels. If you look at the new metaverse, it's going to open up another way in which customers are going to interact. People are going to wear their Oculus, and talk to somebody anywhere in the world to understand a product, to fix a product, to do a lot of things. And I think the metaverse is going to be a completely new wave in which digitization is going to take place. Of course, COVID-19 has played a big role in terms of enhancing the pace. The B2C digital interaction, which is accelerated, is actually fast-forwarded 3 to 4 years. McKinsey's and all these people who had projected about the way in which digitization is going to take place, it has actually accelerated about 3 to 4 years. 63% of the companies have increased their digital transformation budget. There is no other choice. They have to increase their budget, because if they're not digital, they will just win off. The share of offering that are digital in nature has actually gone up by 8 years. What people projected as the percentage of the products and offering that would be done digitally is actually done, what is done now is about 8 years what people had projected earlier. And of course, there is, personalization that is going to take place significantly. There is going to be free shipping that will happen. There is going to be product reviews and target promotion. Pricing mechanisms will change. The whole experience in which you deal digitally is going to again go through a significant change in the coming years in the B2C world. There is a survey which says that more than 55% of the shoppers want to buy directly from brand manufacturers as compared to what was in the past. Go to the next slide, please. And if you look at I was talking about the spend on the, if you look at the spend from a less than 1 trillion spend in 2017, we are looking at 2025 to be a 3 trillion. This is a big number. Okay, and that shows how much of investment is going on the digital side, on the B2C world, and that is going to that is basically telling us a story of how much more is yet to be done on the digital space. In fact, the retail organizations are predicting an increase of about 39.8% in the overall ICT budget. More than 1/3 now sell majority of the products and services online, and the share of cross-border online shopping, this is cross-border, not just within the country, is increasing from 17% in 2016 to 23% in 2018. That's the trend at which it has gone. Now, if you look at the B2B world, what's happening? No, not this one before. Okay, the B2B world. If you look at the B2B world, the B2B organizations under digital transformations have 5 times more revenue growth than their competitors. This is what has happened in few companies, which is not the marketplace, the way in which TEXUB is being formed. But this is purely companies offering their products and services digitally through a digital format. And that's grown by about 5 times. 75% of the procurement, as per McKinsey, is projected to happen in the next 5 years. So that's the pace at which McKinsey is expecting procurement to take place. People will not be talking to anybody. They will just want to compare and decide on a large procurement online. The online B2B sales, which grew at 17.8% from 1.39 trillion in 2020 to 1.63 trillion in 2021, as per the Digital Commerce 360 survey which has come up. And retailers believe they can save about 90% on their sales and operational costs by going digital. If you look at a report that has come from Thomson report, it basically says 49% of the B2B buying in UK, US, and China was online in 2021. This is all B2B numbers that are showing up. Now, as Suchit mentioned, people can come up and put their website and say that, okay, this is my website, these are my products, these are my offering, this is my price, and people who want to come can come. But they need to do a lot of things. They need to market themselves. They need to create a supply chain mechanism. They need to ensure deliveries take place. They need to manage credit. They need to manage foreign exchange. They may need to manage customs. They need to manage logistics. They need to manage a whole range of things, which none of them are ready, and most of them don't even know how this operates cross-border. But there is a set of people who are actually involved in this trade, who have done a fairly large amount of cross-border transactions and have done a lot of in-country or within the region transactions, which is all of you guys, who have a lot of experience over the last 25, 30 years and know exactly what's been happening. And the last 2 years of journey for Suchit and his team has all been about how do we get all that learning into this platform? How do we make sure that 300, 400 scenarios of what happens, what goes wrong in terms of services, in terms of rejects, in terms of customers not paying on time, in terms of insurance requirement, in terms of customs, in terms of warehousing, everything was accumulated by the team over the last 2 years. And I've been working with this team, and seeing them the way in which they have been preparing. And I think my role in this company has been basically to get the right set of people, basically to ensure that we have the right investors brought in at the right time to scale up the business. The idea is to basically ensure proper risk and governance mechanism. The idea is to basically ensure that we create a right team, and more important, ensuring that we create the right value for all the stakeholders. That's a real role that I would be playing in this company as a board of advisors. And I truly believe that the B2B trade, not only just in the IT world, but even in the mobility and ancillary world, is going to significantly grow the way we have seen the B2C world has grown. It is going to go to other industries like healthcare. It's going to go to, healthcare products is again a big industry. We're going to see a lot of digitization in that space as well. And I don't believe we will be able to slow down. We have been having, fortunately, some well-wishers, and I think Shailendra and Rakesh have been, good for us in terms of brainstorming, sharing their ideas, and what I want to do on this whole journey, and before I get into that, I'll want to show you one more slide. But what I want to do in this journey is to basically have you just not as trading partners, but basically have you involved in a little more than a trading partner, okay? In terms of trading on the platform, etc., which you guys will possibly do, realize the value, and then possibly go more and more. But I want you as a community with whom Suchit has been involved to be more involved into this. But before I get there, we did some broad projections on the number, and we took a very conservative number in terms of number of people that we would be onboarding over a period of time from 22, which is half a year left now, till about 25. We took about how many of these would be active and how much of these would be passive. We took a very, very mild number of 1 transactions a month in the initial phase, going up to 1.5 to 2. I know you guys do much more than that. Average transaction, again, nothing more, $900 to $48,000, nothing major. I know you guys do much, much more than that. And even there, we are seeing that the value of transaction can go up to about $1 billion in 2025. Now, this is without mobility, and this is without a lot of ancillary products in the ICT world that we've taken. But we don't think this is a challenge. This is a reality, is my personal view. And if at all we do that, and especially a company like TEXUB, which is one of its kind in the world, and I think this is very important to note, there is no company like TEXUB which exists in the world today. There's no platform like this which exists in the world. There are some B2B platforms in different shapes and forms, but this has got a unique feature. And that's the reason I wanted this to just make it more enriching. I wanted a lot of you guys involved into this project. And one of the thoughts we have got is that for the year 1, year 2, and year 3, depending upon how much you trade on this platform, we would like to give warrants which will get converted to equity shares. And that equity share you will get at the face value, which all of us have been invested in, which is $1 a share. The value of that share at that point in time, I believe, is going to be significantly more, and the value that would accrete for people who will own shares in this company will be significantly more than possibly the gains that you would have by just doing trading. And that's a big game plan of getting everybody involved. It's not an incentive. It's just not an incentive to encourage people to come on board. Our belief is this is a reality. Digital is a reality. Everybody will come in some shape and form. Some will come in our platform. Somebody will come in a different platform. Somebody will say, you know what? I will create my own website and I'll take care of marketing. I will take care of logistics. All that will happen. But the reason I want, and Suchit wanted your engagement, and we were thinking about how to get you engaged, was to say that just not about trading benefits, but also getting you as shareholders by giving warrants. And that's something that will get rolled out, and people will be told about it as the onboarding takes place by Suchit and his team. Right now, we don't need funding. We've got adequately funded. We believe we will be able to get the right venture capitalists and relevant investors at the right point in time. But one of the thoughts I have was, should we open up for the community, especially the Dubai community that Suchit has been engaged with? And I think that is something that we would want to think in the due course. But one very important thing is any investor in this company will have no access whatsoever to what happens in the platform. Who are the buyers? Who are the sellers? What price are they trading in? That access and that information is not going to be given to anybody. So Suchit and team and me as a part of the risk and governance and also my board of advisors will ensure that there is a fair play on this platform and there is nobody who gets an undue advantage of being an investor either through warrants or other investment by having access to information in the platform. So that's one thing that we're going to clearly keep it neutral. It's going to be like a stock market platform. People are going to say that I want to buy this, I want to sell this, the platform is going to match. The other important feature is going to be credit. So somebody is saying that I want to sell, but I don't want to give credit because I don't know. Or he or that company may say I may give a credit for 30 days. Is there an opportunity for giving credit as TEXUB? Is there an opportunity for giving credit for a longer period of time as compared to the seller? I think that's something that TEXUB will undertake and will create financing lines to provide this. But technically, any seller is selling to TEXUB, any buyer is buying from TEXUB, and TEXUB is taking the responsibility end to end in terms of delivering that trade, the way it was thought through both by the buyer and seller. So the effort of Suchit and his team over the last 2 years has resulted in creating this platform. This platform will be launched on 1st of July this year. That's the day of the launch. And what it will start off with is an onboarding process where they will onboard, do the KYC. There will be an orientation for all your people in terms of how does it operate, how do what are the challenges. All the questions will be answered. So people will get familiarized with using the platform. And once that is done, they can actually start uploading their products, or they can go to the platform and start trading or buying or whatever they want to do. Are we going to be glitch-free? No, we will not. And I think we want to test this from the Khalid bin Walid street, understand from you guys, learn from you guys, fix the glitches, and then really take it to a world platform to make it one of the largest B2B computer trading platform. And I wish Suchit and his team the very best in this endeavor. All the best, guys. Thank you.